Okay. for TESL 341 or 343? Tutoring.
For this one, so how he graded the one paper I turned in. It was not finished. I didn't type the rest of the lesson plan.
Okay.
But he so-called said it was not it, like the first one.
Okay.
And he said I should drop the class.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's so-called like that bad. It's because, and then so-called I'm not asking him for help.
Oh.
That kind, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are you gonna do?
I'm not sure because I see for this one I can for next spring it's also with him and it's also online too. So I'm not sure. Should I just what should I do?
Yeah. Okay, let's try to do you have his feedback so we can look at it together and see what he's saying? Speaking. Okay. Okay, so he wants more language skills stuff. Okay. Do you have any more documentation about language skills stuff besides the book, like like PowerPoints?
No, you don't really have any PowerPoints.
Okay.
This is mostly videos.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, if we have any kind of lecture, anything from lectures, like any videos or anything we can do to include language skills, we could do that.
Yeah, because like the he wrote here the draft date is Friday.
Yeah.
And then he so-called said he did give me the feedback on the D2L.
Simply. Okay. Okay. It sounds like we just need a lot more of the language stuff. Which I need some like any of the lecture stuff that I can use to direct it with that, so we can mix it in there.
Yeah, it was mostly video.
Okay. Okay, we may have to watch a few of the videos just to make sure we can get some stuff about language, like what exactly he's looking for. And we'll probably have to change it so that you're the teacher.
All videos and there's some my map, which is a video from him
Okay.
about the book and stuff.
Okay. Whichever you feel more comfortable playing, where you think has the most information about language assessment.
They're all about it. It's just look at different sections about it.
Okay.
This is a YouTube.
Okay.
The Reading Rockets professional development webcast series is a production of WETA. Funding for this Colorín Colorado webcast is provided by the American Federation of Teachers. The Reading Rockets project is funded by the United States Department of Education, Office of Special Education Programs. Hello, I'm Delia Pompa. Welcome to this year's first Colorín Colorado webcast. Today we're going to talk about assessment for English language learners. Dr. Lorraine Valdez-Pierce is here to help us. She's coordinator of the ESL Teacher Licensure Program at the Graduate School of Education at George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia. Dr. Pierce, before we talk about assessment, tell us a little bit about English language learners. Some of the characteristics that make teaching them challenging. Well, there are three big areas that make teaching English language learners challenging. The three areas are language, culture, and previous educational experience. So when we're talking about assessment, language is right up there as one of the big three with regard to the difference in language between the language that they speak and the language that they're being assessed or tested in. Then there's culture, which will maybe lead to some differences in classroom behavior from what native speakers would be producing or preparing. But then there's also the parental role. If parents come from different cultures, they may be less eager to run and participate in the American public school system. And then finally, the previous educational experience that these children bring may include literacy or not literacy, and this is a very important variable in assessing students. You brought up lots of characteristics. Could you go back and define, give us a little more information on each one? Language, can you define how that would be different? What we would see there, what a teacher might see? Well, children who speak English as a second language or bilingual children come from, over 100, 200 different language backgrounds. And what we know is the closer the language is to English, such as a Romance language, the easier it would be for that child to acquire the language. But the more distance between their language, such as Russian or Arabic or Turkish, the more distance there is between the written language and the spoken language and English, more challenge there might be in learning the English language. So that's the language part. The cultural part comes where children are raised in a home where they are maybe given a rather passive role, and they're taught to also go to school and just do what the teacher tells you and not really engage or ask questions. And so the teacher may get the impression that these children are passive or even not interested or not making the effort, when really it's a cultural upbringing. So the culture really reflects the styles of the different children and what their family values and what child rearing style, right? Child rearing definitely has an impact on the child's behavior and performance in the school. And finally, previous education. How does that play into it? How does that make a big difference? Research tells us now, we have pretty clear evidence that says a child who brings native language literacy to the classroom has a tremendous advantage over the child who does not bring any kind of significant amount of native language literacy. So what we want to determine then when the child comes into the classroom is whether or not they have literacy in the native language. And if they do, then we can use that as a building block to acquiring English as a second language literacy. Makes a lot of sense. So it seems like assessment would be particularly important for this group. What exactly do you mean by assessment? We toss that term around all the time. What are we talking about when we talk about assessment? Yeah, assessment basically is the gathering of data, information on a student's learning or knowledge or skills. And with regard to reading, it's what kind of information do we have on the student's reading skills and ability. And is that a formal process that we use? Because it seems to me that teachers are gathering information on kids all the time, right? It can be formal or informal. At the classroom level, it'll most likely be informal. And it must take the place of some kind of observation on the part of the teacher, and then translating the observation to some kind of documentation. So it's very broad. But the assessment itself has become a key issue when we look at No Child Left Behind, and when we look at adequate yearly progress, which is another term we toss around a lot. What can you tell us about how assessment fits into No Child Left Behind in general, and to adequate yearly progress, or AYP, which we'll try not to use, adequate yearly progress, we'll say, in particular? How is that interaction taking place when you look at assessment, and then also when you look at the context of the characteristics of these children? Well, I think there's good news and there's bad news. I think the good news is at last we have some requirements on the part of the federal government and the states following those requirements for accountability for the learning of English language learners who for the longest time have been an invisible student population, because their test scores on standardized tests have typically been excluded or disaggregated. But now this is no longer allowed. And so the good news is we do have accountability requirements for monitoring the progress of these students. The bad news is that most school systems take the approach that one size fits all. And so the same tests that are used with native speakers of English are now being used with English language learners for the most part. And those are not appropriate because of the language difference. And then in the case of states that are developing native language assessments, this is still in kind of an emerging field. There's not a whole lot of research out there on native language assessments for accountability at the state level. So you see a lot of states kind of searching for answers, and the whole field is evolving. So it's a very challenging aspect there to get issues such as accountability and reliability and validity, important measurement issues addressed at these levels of assessment. You used the word disaggregation a while ago, which is probably something a lot of our audience is hearing about. What's the key thing about disaggregation that's important about English language learners in the context of No Child Left Behind? In the context of No Child Left Behind, disaggregation means the ability to find out how specific populations are doing with regard to approaching learning goals and objectives. So it's very important not to just mix in the English language learners with native speakers, but to pull out that data and information on all English language learners in the school system to find out how this group is progressing as a group from year to year. So then how does assessing English language learners become an important piece of what we're doing? And why is it especially important? It's especially important when we talk about accuracy. And accuracy is another word for validity. That is, if we're going to make inferences from test data, then we need to make sure that those inferences about where these students are, what they've learned and what they haven't learned, that these inferences are accurate. And the only way you're going to get accuracy if you either use the language of instruction that these students are familiar with, or use different kinds of assessments that more closely relate to instruction. So how would a school handle a new student? Let's take a look at a real life example. 8-year-old Marlon Escobar Lopez has an important appointment today. He's checking into his new school system in Arlington, Virginia.
Marlon Escobar, He's at the Arlington Intake Center, where staff will figure out exactly what he needs from his new teachers.
Intake Center is the place where children who speak another language or have another language background enter school.
The Intake Center stays very busy. Arlington's English language learners speak 104 languages and come from 122 different countries. Most of the children speak Spanish. Those kids are very diverse too, both culturally and economically.
Children from the middle class have had certain experiences that other students may not have had. They've been to museums, they have been read to in their own language.
Marlon is from Honduras. He looks like he's ready for school, but will the school be ready for him? The process starts with his dad.
Parents are just that part of the learning equation that we cannot do without. You know, it's the child, the parent, the teacher. They're the three most basic components.
The interview gives Arlington some important information about Marlon, like the fact that he's been to school in the United States for a year already.
La primera lengua de we look not only at the academic background, but we also look at the whole child. We look at his health situation. We look at family history.
When his dad's finished with his questions, it's Marlon's turn. His teachers need to know how well Marlon can understand spoken and written English.
Put the girl behind the mirror.
So if you're assessing a child, you not only want to assess their knowledge of letters and sounds and so forth in English, but you want to tap into it in Spanish too.
Gatito, los gatos son animales.
Because whatever they know in Spanish, you're quite certain you can use to help them acquire the skills in English.
Strawberries and carrots.
Marlon can read a little bit in English already, and his comprehension skills in both languages are strong. So the Intake Center places him in a second grade class for English language learners.
Short sound of I, everybody.
It's
Okay.
His teachers at Abingdon Elementary have received all the information gathered at the Intake Center, both social and academic, so they know exactly where to start with Marlon.
Using time for instruction right away at the correct and appropriate level is important to us. We want all our students to achieve at a high level, to be challenged, regardless of where they started.
Indigo, excellent. That was a very complex process. So what do you do if you're a school that has not had a lot of experience with this? Well, how do you handle a child like Marlon?
Well, first you need to make an assessment, a determination of native language literacy and prior educational experience. And to the extent that that shows that the child, the learner has some native language literacy, you will know where you can begin as far as sound, symbol recognition, phonemic awareness, especially if the language is a Romance-based language similar to English. If the assessment determines that the child is not literate in the native language, then there will need to be some serious, perhaps one-on-one instruction that goes on with the student to acquire literacy. If not in the native language, if that's not possible, then in a meaningful way, in a very meaningful way, English.
Okay, we can pause here.
I'm guessing that some
So what I'm thinking we can do is you still have the doc with most of the stuff we wrote already of what he graded. Like, do you still have that doc on? Like, okay. So like we know he graded part of it, but we're gonna probably have to switch up some stuff. Probably add some stuff with native language and talk about the intake center, disaggregation.
Because he's also indicate the SMA on the SMART acronym.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to assessment, what exactly should a student be able to do? They should be able to pronounce like certain things in their own language, understand certain words. But we're gonna have to fix that so that we say, you know, like when it comes to therapy, especially, they're not gonna understand certain things in our languages, right? So, what language are we thinking these children have that need therapy? And then we can probably just add something. Everything bilingual, like Spanish speaking. We may not need that, but it may just add to it, you know. Because if they have more of their original language, they're gonna have to learn like certain words in English. There's this like resource constraints, something you should realistically be able to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and redo some of this. So let's say our student, we said, 4th grade, right? Okay. So we said 4th grade student, bilingual, right? Okay. What language do you feel we could use, or do you want to use? You could do Spanish, you could do Japanese, you can do Chinese, you can do Thai, Korean, whatever you want.
I think Spanish.
Spanish, okay, yeah, that'd be easier probably. Okay. So how much of the native language do you think they know? That they mostly speak in their mostly native language, or a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of English?
I think it's half and half.
Half, okay. So we can say half native language use, half English. So a pretty good understanding of both languages, right? Okay, we can say decent understanding. Of both languages. It struggles with translation, right? Okay. With translating certain words. Translating or understanding. Spoken English. Spanish, okay. Now, as a teacher, you're teaching bilingual, so maybe the therapist is only English speaking, for instance, right? So the child would have to learn how to understand the words that the therapist is saying. So you could say they're English speaking only. So maybe you give this student one-on-one instruction. Okay. Okay. So because the therapist is English speaking only, it may take more time for the student to understand the language, right? What's being asked and I think I wrote down when it comes to like therapy, right? Therapy could be a cultural issue. So you can bring up culture and how cultural differences. So with therapy, different responses can mean different things, right? They based on their past language use, or past experiences. Okay. So when it comes to the assessment part now, we want to talk about the intake center. So like for a student who's having a mental health problem, right, they would go through the intake center first. The school would try to meet all their needs or assess the needs. So some needs that could be looked at would be like the cultural perspective, like behavioral problems. And how it translates between English and Spanish and how to talk to them to try and get them to calm down. And you can also say, student can also work on phenotypes, which are sounds in other languages.
You just responded to my email about like, should I drop this class? She said I should.
Are you sure?
She said, yeah, because I can't. It seems that I can't really just save my GPA and stuff.
Yeah. It's a required course, right?
Yeah, this is one of them, and then I can still go take the clinical.
Okay. And then you get to come back to this one at some point, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's maybe revise it now. But like this far, it's kind of, yeah. Have you tried reaching out to him this semester?
Not really yet, but I really need to.
Yeah, I know. It can be kind of intimidating trying to talk to your professors, especially. Yeah. Phenotype sound in other languages like Spanish to English, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, because like when I saw the email, the feedback, he gave it like last when did he give it? On the 22nd. When was that? On Saturday.
Oh, okay. If you want, after I get some of this set up and we start working on revising this, you can send him an email saying that you revised, what you have. Can you take a look at it, see if it's any better? And then if it isn't, then maybe consider dropping. But let's try and see what if we can save this first, I wonder if it's just mostly because the assignments are late that he's just kind of like,
I'm not it's so-called late, but and also I didn't really ask him for help.
right.
You saw that the feedback, so I didn't go
Yes,
see him
yeah.
when I let.
Yeah. I would definitely hit him up for help at some point, either because you have him again next semester, right?
If I'm gonna take this class again.
Yeah.
it would be him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 'cause maybe retaking it would help, kind of get everything, because then you would kind of know how it goes, when you're taking the class for the first time and it's hard, it's kind of like you don't know, how
Yeah,
the
because like it didn't have an example. I like to have an example to look at.
yeah, me too. That's how I learn best, is if I have something to go off of what they want. But if they just throw an assignment at you, you kind of don't know what they want,
And I don't really have the time to go see him. That's why.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because if he explained it to you, I'm sure it'd be a lot easier to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and also for his times are like the same for each semester.
Yeah. Okay.
He so-called have office hours Monday through Thursday, and you can also contact him through phone. Yeah, but does his own cell phone at his office and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about phenotypes, sounds and languages. Then one-on-one instructions. Okay, so let's see if we can try revising what we've got so far. Okay. So student that will use SNL for very demographic. This fourth grade student currently struggles with mental health issues. Okay. Using individual group therapy. 6 minutes and group session every 2 weeks for 6 minutes. Social skills, ability to volunteer therapist, and homework improvement. Okay, let's see what his feedback was to that. Make sure we have to change anything.
We just highlighted this part.
Okay. Okay, he's only listening. What about speaking? Okay, we need to add speaking. So we need to add some speaking skills.
Yeah, and then I need to change that sentence
Yeah.
as a therapist.
Right.
Need to
Change
do
that
that.
to teacher. Yeah. Let me add that. Let me put changes. Like as a teacher, and then we can go into like what we would do as a teacher. It should be like to assess the student, make sure they achieve their goals, and all of that. Response listening.
I know for this semester I didn't have to pay out a pocket. FastPass fully covered for my 2 classes,
Oh, okay.
and I got book voucher.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, that's the only really good thing for this semester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This book should have some of the language listening, speaking stuff. I'm hoping. You said be chapter 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it said here.
Yeah. We can find some speaking skills. I can add those in.
Yeah, the comments were mostly about the listening and
Yeah.
speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly those, and then those SM and T.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said not those for those sections.
Okay.
Yeah, for those objectives.
Okay. Testing. Listening, speaking. Interview.
What did you drop any classes when you just? I know so for the D2L thing, you would take you off of it after you drop it, or like so for when I was at Truman, like one of my professors dropped me, and then was still in the system, and then like when I checked like a few days after, so for the drop date, I didn't get to see the class no more.
Okay, yeah. After a few days after drop date, you won't see it anymore.
I don't think I dropped any class, but like I think when I was registering, when I accidentally dropped it instead of
yeah.
adding it.
I've done that before. How's your other TSL class going? Is that one a little bit better?
It's kind of like this one,
Oh, okay.
but I just need to do the so-called those journals with the language.
yeah.
I need to maybe the coming tutoring sessions is to help with that.
Okay, yeah.
If I have to drop this one, it'll be with that.
Okay. Those might be easier to get done. Is he advising, is he the same professor for that class? as well?
Oh, that one is another one. There's another professor.
Okay. Okay. That's English speaking. And then we can talk about pronunciation, grammar, errors, wrong, no response. And then they want scores of this stuff. So we can mention this. Trying to see different speaking. There's a lot about listening. Lots about speaking.
Those other videos are mostly about the book.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Skills, communication skills. Okay. State completed actions. Okay. We can say state completed actions, give opinions. Confirmation. And then produce language correctly. Bring up things like tone, stress, and rhythm. Okay. We got some things for that. All right, does this all make sense? The changes we're going to make? Okay. So we can go back to your document. Okay. Student that will be assessing belongs to the 4th grade demographic. This 4th grade student currently struggles with depression. We can say bilingual student currently. At 3rd grade. Okay. And then you could say that they're fluent in both English and Spanish right here after mental health issues. With English and Spanish, and then you can mention, I think we said, yeah, that's about, they use both interchangeably. And then interchangeably would be INT,
Right.
and ER, CH, ABLY.
Mm.
And then you could say interchangeably, but struggles with some English. Some English translation. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, so students receiving both individual and group therapy. A student who is in the 4th grade sees therapist once a week. Minutes in a group session every 2 weeks to 60 minutes. Overall for the student social skills. You can also, after social skills, add a language expansion. SIION. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. And home life improvement. Okay, and then you would say as a teacher. Okay, I will actively listen. Recognize their students behave in the way that they do. That they are. Okay. And then after this,
Yes.
after R, explain, I will also then we can talk about the speaking. I will also assist the student with productive language use. Let's see. Help them give opinions. What's OP? Yeah, OPI and ION.
This one.
And give them affirmation, which is AFFIRMI. Wait, affirm. Oh yeah, it's AT. ION. Student will listen responsibly. Include them in the sessions. Okay, so now we've included both.
I think. What?
You want to add more for the listening?
No, I meant for this part. Change the word for this one.
Okay. You want to get rid of the listen intensively?
No, the session part.
Oh, okay.
Because so-called is as a teacher, so
Right,
it won't be a session.
Okay. Right. You could say in the classroom. Instead of saying during, you could say in the classroom. Okay. Does that make more sense?
Mhm.
Okay. And then you can put down. What kind a student needs. Okay. So now we talk
Change
about
this one to teacher.
yeah.
Change those.
Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of revising everything. Purpose of the high stakes assessment is how much therapy and what kind of student needs. Okay. So after that, we can bring up the intake center.
Okay. What should we say?
The intake center will be capital INTAKE. Yep. And then capital C. Yeah. Would be helpful. In looking over therapy notes, goals, and limitations that the student is experiencing. Okay. And then you could say, the way to assess what works, what does not work, or measuring the student's progress. Okay. My job as a teacher is set up weekly goals, meet with the student, observe changes in behavior, also have a plan parents can agree with. Okay.
Would that work?
Yeah. We can also add a little bit more to it. By saying after agree with, we can say that if needed, give the student one-on-one instruction. Okay, good work. Let's see. Less interest in mind. Need always changing. Goals we set must reflect those changes. Okay. Major goals, make sure the students' mental health is improving. Yes. You can also say, along with that,
What?
right here at the end. Along with that, comma, it is important to evaluate cultural differences. Let's see what else. Comma, the child's past experiences. Comma, and the parent's role in how the child is doing. See what else. Okay, go ahead, go down.
Should we look at the thing?
Yeah, that definitely helps. Okay, so we did that. The teacher,
What do you get?
we main objectives. Who measures the teacher or therapist? Okay, so I'll mention that the teacher measures this. Let me add that. Teacher and therapist both would measure, but since you're a teacher, you'd only see what you're seeing, and the therapist would have to give you the information. Both assess the teacher. Observations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Notes would need to come from the therapist. Okay. Let's see. Not S or M or T. In session, ask some questions. Tell the teacher their questions. Yeah, they'd be speaking in the first language to the family. Okay. Okay, keep going. They're not specific. Okay, we have to be more specific with the lesson plan. So we'll have to talk about using the therapy sessions for language. That's all. And then we'll have to figure out how to handle language skills. Okay. He didn't say that for number 3. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one seems okay. And then keep going down and see what else.
He didn't say anything
about
because
the-
I didn't really finish typing it for the last
Okay.
one.
All right, sounds good.
Well, when I turned it in, I just said I didn't finish this part, but like, I thought everything's not good.
Okay. Okay, we can go ahead and start fixing it up then. Okay. Social skills. Okay. How we can set this up. So let's go back to
Yes. Where should we go?
where he was asking, saying like who should assess the teacher, which was up. There we go. Speak up
Yeah,
more.
because he pointed up to here.
Yeah. Okay. So we're at the 3 main assessments.
Is this another?
Okay, we can go back to the main. Okay. Was that up a little bit more? Or am I think it was up a little more. I'm not sure.
Oh, we had.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Main objectives. Okay. After the family relationships, you can say, the therapist would look at, or as a teacher, I would see the observational changes. Or I would know. Observational. Changes in the student's behavior. And academic progress.
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 Is that?
Yeah. Okay. Then you can add an additional line saying like the therapist would give the information to the school, right?
Yeah.
Give updates to the school. Okay. Sometimes think more often in class and interact more with classmates during playtime and contribute more during group projects. Did he say anything about that?
For the example.
Yeah. Just by who measures, yeah. Okay. So that's about the tutoring sessions. Random numbers calling me. Not answering to tutoring sessions. So we have questions about the teacher. Okay, so basically this is how to fix all this part.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the whole paragraph. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, we can go back to the main. School. Example, my second objective, grade negative. Or you could say, we could talk about the language use.
Oh, wait.
We can talk about it. Let's see. Getting rid of like the students' sessions.
This.
Where it says an example of my second objective would be to, and then we can talk about students' language use instead.
Okay.
Right
Where is it?
here.
Here?
Yeah. And you can just like make a space down and then we'll include stuff in between there.
This part, right?
Yeah. So an example of my second objective would be to improve that, and then we can talk about the students' language use. Okay. Let's see how we can do this.
And like so far, he in an email he said for the part 3, if it continue, it so-called needs to have the examples, the whole thing in there.
Okay. Yeah, like typed out.
Yeah, everything's in there. Yeah, everything.
Okay. Okay. So we can improve students' language use. We'll be looking at things like pronunciation, grammar, errors, wrong or no response answers. So you can put a period there, and then you could say, I would be looking at things such as pronunciation, comma, grammar, the number of errors, and comma, and number of wrong answers or no responses. Or no responses. Okay. For language use, we can say active language use just to add some more
The
to it.
students.
Yeah. With language use. And you can see or no responses, a period there. You could mention how this will be done for both English and Spanish. Now we can get rid of the students' grade and academic performance by attending tutoring sessions twice a week and asking their teacher for any clarifying questions. That can be deleted now. We fixed that. Okay, example, their objective is behavior and the friendly relationships. Okay, what did he say about that? Okay, he said, how's this language related? When they speak the language one in home or family.
And then there's not those.
Yeah, not SN. Yeah, so we're gonna have to get rid of improved behavior or family relationship. Maybe we can talk instead about
So we then won't we have to change the one that I had up here?
the 3 objectives.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and change those.
Yeah.
But like we're already kind of changing them. Yeah.
So
We can keep the IEP part. I think that part was good. You just add you need to be able to assess language learning. So far, I don't see any language Yeah, we'll have to add that into it, to the IEP,
Hmm.
but that's about it. So you can go back to the document. Okay, the objective is to improve the student's behavior in the family relationship. Okay, we can get rid
So
of that.
which, how?
Where it says,
Is it this?
Yeah.
part?
just that line. Okay. Now we're gonna have to change it to, let's see. Would be to maybe integrate the parents into the child's GRAT. Yeah. Okay. The
Mhm.
parents into the child's communication and language building. Okay. You could say, I would encourage them to assist the child with, let's see, with stating their completed actions. Comma. Give confirmation. Maybe IR. R.
Mm.
MATI.
Like this
Yeah.
one.
Comma. And help the child give opinions. Or student. Help the student give their opinions. Okay. Good. We can also mention, however, the student would still be using their native language at home. Okay, let's see, and we need to practice English speaking. Yep. Okay. Now we can go back and include the IEP part. And then you mentioned here before we do that is the parents would also be involved in monitoring their child's academic limitations. Okay. So to do this, they would set up an individual education program IEP. That would help from the parents, the school, or you could say the school would set up, where it says they. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Would set up a night. Welcome the parents, teachers, and school administrators. Okay. Let's see what else. Is there any other feedback you had? Okay. This is language use so far. I don't see any. Okay. And then we're including it a lot more in this paragraph. You can also say in there that after psychologist, that all these people working together can help the student evolve in let's see, their tone, comma, rhythm, comma, and stress of the voice. When speaking. Okay. Period. And you could say this would help the child improve in their everyday language use and development in bilingual or in 2 languages. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. I'm hoping that will be better. I think we fixed a lot of this.
Go back and change it.
Yeah. Improve social skills, improve their grades. We mentioned that. Improve behavior and family relationships. Yeah. Active language use. Okay. So for the second, it would be to improve active language use instead of grades. Okay. The subject encourage the child to participate. Okay. Yeah, improve social skills. Okay. Objective integrate parents. Yeah. So you could say finally to involve the parents. In the child's communication. Communication development. Okay. I'm hoping that will be much better. I would send this to him and see what he thinks. Tell him we've done some revisions. Ask him if this is more what he's looking for. Make sure I have anything else. Okay. I'm gonna give you this just in case. I think we got everything on here though. But like for the next part, we'd have to really go through it some more. I don't want to go any further unless he yeah, say something about it. So do you have his email?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So I don't know if you feel comfortable sending this to him and being like, hey, I changed this. Or if you'd have to resubmit it. I'm not sure how that goes. And we'll have to fix the lesson plan too. Can probably work on that now. What did his feedback say about that? Very non-specific. Okay. Learn to communicate more effectively. You could say in both languages. In both languages. And then we have to make up for
Change this part somehow.
yeah. So we could say, let's see, school's a long time, so it's hard to say like how long the sessions would take, you know? Maybe you could say you could do it the 60-minute sessions with therapy still for that, using the 60-minute sessions, and then we can talk about using that at home, like maybe 30 minutes a week, or a weeknight with family. We can include that, and we can include teacher stuff too. So there's more than just the therapy, you know. So for the first part, we could say at school every day for an hour, right? You could say or 2 hours, or school sessions, Monday through Friday. For approximately 2 hours. I think that would be pretty good. Then you could say 30 minutes on weeknights with family. You could also include after a period, maybe 20 minutes with the therapist to try and improve language. Attempting to translate or something like that. Yeah, translating. That way we at least have something from each. Okay, so materials, pens, pencils, paper, IEP, markers, crayons, drawing paper, toys, games. You could also, for sounds, I don't know if a voice recorder would be any good. Or timer. What do you think? Or do you think we're good with this?
He didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't say anything. No.
I didn't say anything.
Okay. He just said where are the language skills.
For these, for the
New content, yeah. We did that. Now we just gotta fix this. Okay, so remember we had to go from strategy to Excel student in a stressful situation. You could say if we want to include language in that. Let's see. Let's see what else we can include. Situations. You can say they can, for including on the end of that, you can say they can learn to, let's see. Not monitor. Control their tone of voice. Comma. Speed of talking. Comma. And the stressors placed on certain words.
And what?
Stressors, which is STRESSORS.
Mm.
There you go. Placed on certain words. Just means like emphasizing certain words. Like you say something too extremely or not, strong enough. And that way they can learn to use their tone and stuff to calm their own selves down. Coping strategies. Teachers can be educated to recognize signs of distress. Yeah, for including that, we can say that they can give the student an oral interview. Identify the problem. ID. ENTIFY. Yeah.
What's
The problem that is happening right now. Comma. Find ways to, or find solutions. Comma. Ask questions. Comma. And give wind down questions. Okay. Next, for number 3, we don't need to change that, I don't think. Move forward to other feelings. Okay, you can say they can do this in both languages. And also include let's see. A rating. On a scale of 1 to 5. Does that make more sense? It fits more with the instruction of the assignment. Yeah, so you can use both languages for the mood board. So happy, sad, or angry. Pictures, and then with pictures, you can like use the words to identify it in both languages. That way, that would work. Let's see, I don't think I have much else. Okay. Yeah, I got pretty much everything. Anything you'll have to do is probably just email the instructor.
Yeah, I also
Fix what we were doing. That way it's more with that.
the director.
This syndrome activities. Okay, so we can mention how the model is still the same. Hmm. Performance. That's model. And observation model. By the teacher, right? You can say like where is a therapist. So day one, we could still mention the survey, right? But you could give it in both languages. Or you could give it to the English one. Well, if the therapist is English speaks only English, they'd probably give this survey in either language, depending on which one the child preferred. You could say survey in English or Spanish, depending on preference. Like the Spanish one that the parents must fill out. You could say that one would be longer. Then you will be interacting. The student meets a therapist and is given an oral interview, right? In English. There should be warm-up questions. Okay. Questions. Um, what questions, level checks for comprehension. Identifying problems. Senses. Objectives. Student responsibility. Question. And then, okay, so then we talk with them and get assistance to translate, right? Yeah. Get language. They could set up a goal plan. Then for number 3, we talk about how the student makes therapy, right? Gets more appointments. And starts to work on goals. This is only for day 1. Then for day 2, we'll be implementing it. So so that the student begins to use a personal journal. To document thoughts, feelings. You could say at school, goes over it to teacher, right? And teacher helps with grammar, pronunciation, maybe saying them out loud, saying words verbally. And they can try and talk. With classmates, right? Yeah. I think we got as far as day 3. That was it. Let's see. What would be communication? So maybe it has nightly session with parents. help with communication. And native language as well as English. Um, sentences, but we love it classmates at school. And practices, senses, tones of words. In school. Okay, so this was the next part, okay? So what I would say is for day one, where you talk about including that and survey, talk about how the model was used in performance. On day two, talk about implementing it. Day three, you talk about the communication. Does that make more sense? Okay. So this is like all the other class notes we've had. At least this is the new one, and I think you have the other new one. Or do I? Yeah, this is the new one. Okay, so that's for you. You can try and finish working up on that. I would definitely email your instructor if you can. And see what happens. If they still recommend you drop after, that might be an option. But if you'd rather not drop and just see if you can get the professor to like improve the grade based on, you know, the improvements we're making, we can do that.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're willing to, you know. But does that the new changes make sense? Why you changed everything? Okay. So you basically just have to type those things up and then it should be okay. And when is part 4 due or part 2?
The part 3 or so for this.
That's not it.
They'll come the week after next week.
Okay. Yeah, and you only have until 28th to drop, right?
Yeah, which is the end of this week.
Yeah. Okay. Because I don't want you to get a failing grade, you know? So if you're worried about like your GPA, it might be worth dropping. But if you do retake this class, definitely keep all these notes handy in case you need to use them again for structure and how to have an example of all this. I'm hoping you won't have to drop. What about 341? Are your grades doing okay in that one?
For that one, I think I so-called turned this this paper in light, so
Oh,
I got a 62 out of it,
okay.
and it was 3 days late. So,
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
and then I only so-called turned in one of those papers.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's only because you're late. It's only
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
The
it's
rest of the papers
mostly
are great.
quizzes. Because I guess it's so-called took it twice, Yeah.
That's great though.
and it's so-called open book.
Yeah. So this one you should at least be okay as long as you do the journals.
Yes, for this one, I didn't do the journal for the midterm. Right now, I so-called kind of finished with it. I just need to add a few more to one of the things.
Okay.
But so-called she said it was so-called due last night at 59, but it turned 12, and then I turned it in at 12:01.
Well, it's not bad.
And I so-called not finished with it. I didn't add a little bit more to it,
Oh,
and then it's so-called be my fourth submission.
okay. Well, it's not too bad. You're doing okay in this class.
Yeah,
Just gotta get like the other stuff done. This is
didn't do these so-called.
yeah. Okay.
Do these.
Okay. We can definitely work on those in the next session if you decide you're gonna drop this class. Because we're gonna get those done. Make sure you get at least a decent grade out of this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because for this one we have discussion boards, and because the Thursday is offline, we so-called have either discussion boards or like some video to annotate.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Alright, then, I hope it's a little easier to do this now.
Yeah.
Definitely, see if it works. I would do the same at that point. Besides, it seems like you got a lot going on right now, you know.
Yeah.
How many classes are you taking?
I'm at for this semester I'm taking 2. And last semester I had with him for 1 semester,
Uh-huh.
and it was 2 days per week.
Okay.
I was for the assignments. I was late with those 2,
Okay.
but I tried to send him an email saying like I'm working on it. I just needed to add a little bit more.
Yeah.
For this semester, I was kind of busy and very tired and stuff.
Yeah. Makes
And yeah.
sense.
And then like toward the end of the semester in June, I got COVID. Yeah.
I had COVID in June too.
Oh, and June too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like COVID before school ended for CPS. All of us got it.
Oh,
All
God.
me and my 3 brothers got it. Only my parents did it. They were touched with no, didn't get it. But like I think it could have been we got it from our dad, or like because my brothers, the 2 younger one, they were exposed to people with COVID. Not sure if they got it somehow from them or whatever. Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then if for my the first oldest younger brother, he went to high school. He's in high school. For him, he like somehow there's cases there, but like I'm not sure if he get like the very close contact with people with it or not.
Yeah.
But like we share food and stuff, so I think that's how we got it.
Yeah. I had it too. It wasn't that bad, but afterwards I got bronchitis,
Mm.
sinus infection. I was like it's worse than the actual infection.
Yeah, for like when I got it, so far the first 2 days were okay, and then toward the end of the week, that's like when I got a fever and like started coughing and like getting sick, more sick.
I'm sorry. Ew. I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
And especially when you know you can catch it again. It's like that's why I usually wear my mask no matter what, you know.
Yeah, and then we were all wearing our masks, and then I
Yeah.
don't know how we got it.
I know. It's just so infectious.
Yeah, even so called one of my brother's doctors is for diabetics. She also like wear all those gear and stuff, and she also got it too.
Yeah. It's dangerous.
Yeah, and we all got our shots already too,
Yeah,
and then
same.
we got it.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I think the shots at least keep you out of the hospital, but it's like it's even then, it's still like I got my booster recently, so I'm hoping I'll be okay the rest of the semester without catching it. But we'll see.
Is it your fourth shot or the third?
This is my third.
Because I
Oh,
last
no, the fourth.
your fourth. I so called my third shot was last November,
Oh, okay.
and then last year was 20. Yeah, I
And
took
then
all
it's the
three
two.
shots. All three shots last year.
Yeah.
One in April, one in May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Which one did you get?
The Pfizer.
Pfizer?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Two-
got Moderna.
Two were at the hospital. One was at the clinic. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
and they're all in the system for the hospital, so I'm good.
Gotcha. That's good. Yeah, I hope you avoid it again. It's like my brother's had it 3 times.
Oh, the virus.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm like, ugh. I just try not to go anywhere for.
Yeah, for like the symptoms, we didn't really get affected by like the losing taste and
No.
smell and stuff.
Yeah.
It just like it was kind of like a cold for all of us.
Yeah.
Or having fever and stuff, or like
Yeah.
no symptoms at all.
Right. I had a little bit of shortness of breath, but that's because I have asthma.
Mm.
So it's like any kind of virus I get, it makes me do that. But otherwise, it wasn't too bad. I just took my inhaler and it was okay. But yeah, it's scary.
Yeah. Yeah, for like most of the year in the beginning of last year, I was mostly staying home,
Yeah.
and then I started going out like toward the in May after I got my second shot.
Yeah.
That's when I started going out.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you had like any long COVID symptoms, you think, like the fatigue and stuff that comes with it?
Only like recently because of change of weather,
Yeah.
I've been having runny nose and coughing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like this week, it seems like my throat is having more mucus and stuff,
Oh God, yeah, me
and my
too.
throat is very dry.
Me too. That's yeah. It's mostly like have you taken some allergy medicine?
No, I take Tylenol
Tylenol,
and some.
yeah.
I ate some cough. Like last week, it was okay, and then somehow this over the weekend, I'm getting worse.
Yeah. It's probably a change in weather.
And I know I got my flu shot a few weeks ago.
Me too. I got COVID booster and flu shot at the same time.
Mhm.
I regretted it. But yeah, I'm with you.
Hmm.
I've tried Zyrtec and that seems to help with the mucus and stuff. I know with my asthma, I have to take steroids like once in a while
Mhm.
because I get a lot of phlegm, a lot of mucus, like you said. A lot of postnasal drip. It just drips right from the nose down.
It's like when I swallow now, it hurts when I
Yeah.
swallow. Yeah, it's like starting this week.
Ugh,
Over the
sorry.
weekend, is my throat.
Yeah, it's this change in weather. Ugh.
And like, I'm not sure is it COVID again or what, because
Yeah.
like all these symptoms.
Yeah, it's like you never know. Yeah. It's hard to know. Yeah, I'm sorry you're going through all that this semester.
Yeah.
Are you working too?
I'm so-called working at a daycare,
Okay.
and so-called I was exposed to people like the parents of the babies, or like the babies got COVID.
Right.
Yeah, it was like early this year. Yeah, early this year there was like a few cases.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
I was negative, and then like in June I was positive.
Ugh. I know.
Yeah.
I was like June 20th or something where I tested positive. It was crazy. I was sick about 6 days and then it went away.
Yeah, I got the test like the first full week of June,
Mm-hmm.
like toward the second to last week of CPS. That's what on that Monday. My brother was sick over that weekend, and my mom was feeling symptoms, so they both went to get tested. And I feel like I wanted to get tested too,
Yeah.
but I went to work instead. And then so I told those people my brother got positive, and then so I have to leave early, and I went to get tested. From that test, the quick one, I was negative,
Yeah.
but the lab it was positive.
Yeah. That's usually how it goes. Like that rapid test will be negative, especially if you do the nose. Something I did early on is because they say that with this new version, you want to swab your throat. So I swabbed the back of my throat. Then I put the same ones in the nose, which was gross, but put it in the nose and then it tested positive on the rapid. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I know for like the when I first did it for one of those tests, they did say you could do it in the throat or either in the nose.
Yeah.
I did the throat, it was a negative
Yeah.
for the first few ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then like for the ones that I've do recently is mostly the nose.
Yeah.
I just like go deeper a little bit more so
Yeah.
to be more accurate.
Yeah. Me too.
That's
Yeah.
how.
I tested last week because I didn't know if my sinus infection that I have right now was COVID,
Mhm.
but it's just a sinus infection. I missed Thursday here
Mhm.
because I had to go to hospital to get a CAT scan in my
Mhm.
brain just to make sure like nothing was going into the brain from the sinuses. So they're like, we still see it's infected, but you got antibiotics. So
Mm.
yeah, still feeling pretty bad, but at least it's better than I was last week.
Mm.
Yeah, it sounds like you're dealing with a lot right now. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I know, it's like you have so much time for work, classes.
Yeah. Am I really because so far the daycare really needs help. They're not like the teachers be leaving and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So far right now I'm working 3 days and then so called 9 to 5:30, so 8 hours for 3 days each.
Wow, that's a lot.
So that's why like and then I don't really have enough time because the break is like 30 minutes
Right.
and it's very short and I don't have enough time to
To
either
work on
do
anything.
anything.
Yeah. And then you're tired when you go home. You
Yeah.
got other responsibilities at home.
I'm very tired like almost every day.
I'm sorry.
And then on the weekend I'll try to relax a bit and then like relax almost half the whole day.
Yeah.
And then I have to do the assignments.
Yeah. I do the same thing. Like, with my classes, I do homework on the weekends for sure because I ain't got time during the week. Like try to make like meals and stuff, make ahead of time,
Mhm.
meal prep, so I don't have to cook because that takes up a lot of my time. And then transportation back and forth takes up a lot of time too. Other stuff would be like Fridays, I try and do homework. Saturday and Sunday, that's it.
Mhm.
Next semester will be a little easier because I'm only gonna be on campus 2 days.
Mhm.
Well, for classes, but I'm probably, if I'm still working here, I'll probably still work here and yeah, we'll see.
So-called is gonna give me a W if I drop the course.
Yeah,
What does the W mean?
it means you withdrew.
I think I did that with one of my classes when I was at Truman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It means they dropped you. Otherwise you would fail.
Yeah, and also called didn't declare my major yet, and today was the deadline. I missed the deadline for that. But I also got some part. I just because they somehow didn't have my updated transcript from Truman. I need to update them with it.
Okay.
I thought I sent it, but apparently it was just the one that I sent in before because my name didn't match. It didn't have the whole rest of it. It only have certain parts of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how like I had issues when I was applying here
Uh-huh.
because it was only either this Mandy or and then Shin or none with the oh
Gotcha. That makes
this
sense.
part's my Chinese name.
I see.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for me and my brothers, we all have our first name and then like the Chinese name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my mom wanted. So like we all have that.
Okay.
This part is the same. It's just this part's different.
Oh. So is it Mandy Weiming?
Mandy Mingwei.
Mingwei. Okay, cool. Are you guys originally from China?
My dad was born in Vietnam, but he's Chinese, so he's like Vietnamese born Chinese,
I see.
and then he did go back to China. My grandparents are in China,
Cool.
and then my mom's from Hong Kong.
Okay. Wow, it must have been really scary when COVID was breaking out over there because they were the first to get
Yeah,
it.
but like my grandparents from my mom's side, they're no longer here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No one was really in Hong Kong from my family there. No
That's
one was there.
That's good.
Yeah. But yeah, just because they closed the borders and stuff.
Yeah. I know when the virus was still first breaking out in China, I was so scared for China. I was like looking through everything, keeping track of the statistics.
Yeah.
And then it hit over here. I knew it was gonna come over here. I was like, yeah, it's happening in China already. You can't stop travel, so it's gonna come over here.
Yeah. Did you're not a tutor a trio student, so you don't have access to tutoring.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. They haven't included me like in the system yet because I'm still kind of new.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm waiting to see what's going on with that. Yeah.
Because for the tutor meet, I only used not the meeting with a tutor.
Uh-huh.
I just send in the paper, they grade it, that kind of tutor.
Oh, is that what Tutor Me does?
There's those two options. One is to like do a virtual meeting with a tutor
Mhm.
and they help you, but I didn't try that one yet. I just send in the paper, they grade it,
Okay.
send me feedback. Not really grade it, but like give me feedback on it
Mhm.
and then send back.
Okay.
And they send it back pretty quickly.
That's good.
Like, yeah, I think 10 to 15 minutes. And they do say how much time depending on how long the paper is. But they do send it pretty quickly.
That's good.
Yeah. I just didn't do the virtual kind of tutoring with it.
Okay. Yeah, just keep me updated on if you decide to drop that class.
Yeah.
Because if you do, we can just work on the other stuff and get you going with that. And hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, because like even before he so-called sent that like feedback and stuff, I already made a bunch of tutoring
Yeah.
with already have you for Tuesdays, and then I made some tutoring with that side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still, yeah.
Yeah.
Do they help you out over there this much?
It's so-called they have a TESL tutor.
Okay.
He's a major. He have a master in TESL,
Okay.
and so-called he was helping me like correct the grammar
Uh-huh.
and giving me like how to rewrite the sentences.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. But he looked over like the instructions and everything too.
Not really the instructions, but like he was just like looking through the paper.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because see, I've never taken like any TESL classes, so this is kind of new for me as
Mhm.
well. And then trying to figure out what he wanted was kind of difficult. I'm glad I know now, but I just wish, he had been made more clear later on,
Yeah.
earlier on, so that we could have fixed this before it got to this point. But so this class is just, you got a lot going on this semester. And yeah, it's difficult when it's like that.
Yeah. I thought I could have managed 2 classes, but apparently not.
Yeah, I used to think the same thing. Like, I think if I was taking 3 right now, I could not do it. It's just you gotta always, manage your expectations. Sometimes my brother, he works full time
Mhm.
and he only does 1 class because he's tried 2 and he just ends up failing. It's hard, especially if you're
Yeah.
having a lot of tiredness and stuff this semester.
It's the same for almost every semester since I transferred here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like for last year, the springtime is more like calm because I was mostly at home
Uh-huh.
and then on the computer for at least 3 classes.
So is it easier for you online and remote, you think?
It was remote for those, I had 4 classes that spring last year.
Uh-huh.
3 was so-called on Zoom, and 1 was just online. I was okay with that. Yeah. I think I was late on some assignments for those classes,
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
but one of them didn't really have any assignments. It was just a midterm and final, and 1 was just doing quizzes online.
Okay.
Yeah, no midterm or final. And then like the other class that it was with him also, it was paper.
Okay.
And I think I did send him an email say like I need more time to work on it and stuff. So it did
Mhm.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like communicating with him probably helped back then.
Yeah, I did kind of communicate with him last spring, but not that much.
Yeah, you just haven't had time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's understandable. Yeah, it just means you just may have a lot on your plate this semester, that's all. Maybe next semester would be better to retake it.
Yeah, because like for the TESL 341, I'm retaking it because I didn't pass it last fall.
Okay.
I took it last fall, and then I also took a gym class. It was a meditation class,
Mm-hmm.
and that was online. The other one was so-called remote,
Okay.
and I failed the remote one because of the assignments. I was late on them, and then very late on all the assignments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you been going through Trio since you got here?
I so-called joined Trio last spring
Okay.
in either February or March.
Okay. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. But I didn't really use the tutoring stuff until like I think last fall,
Okay.
and then like spring or this past spring
Mhm.
was the sending the paper, just them grading it, like
Yeah.
the feedback and stuff.
Did that help you think?
A little bit, but and then I didn't really change the paper even though I turned it in and stuff already. So far, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it was mostly for the discussion boards
I see.
because it was mostly those.
Okay. Makes sense. What class do you have coming up?
It's the 341.
341.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have it here on campus?
Yeah, it's only 1 day because it's a hybrid.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
And that's so cool. If I'm taking this one, it'll be online again still.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one is online also.
Okay.
But it still won't be like so-called full-time,
Yeah.
even though I'm covered for full-time with the FAFSA for next spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard getting like I have FAFSA right now, and I'm like I still have to pay out of pocket at the end of the semester because they don't cover me all the way.
Yeah, that's just what happened for the first 3 semesters for me.
Yeah.
But for this semester, somehow it covered everything.
That's good.
But I got book voucher. That's what's good for this semester.
Okay.
Yeah, because like when I talked to the trio, the one before, the advisor, it was another one. She somehow made my summer package come out,
Oh, okay.
but it was already toward the end of the summer. And then like because I said when I transfer over here, there was no summer, so I didn't take any summer classes.
Yeah.
And there weren't really any summer classes for me to take. It
That's
would be
it.
mostly the TESL.
Yeah.
There's not that many classes to take in the summer.
Yeah.
So
What
it's
are you
mostly fall.
taking next semester? You're taking TESL, and then what else?
I think it'll mostly be TESL,
Yeah.
and I want to see if I can get some other classes because I know I missed the deadline. The deadline is today, so I already passed it. I will need to apply for the summer one,
Mm-hmm.
for the education one.
Okay.
And to get the stuff in because so-called my transcript is not everything with the courses.
Oh, okay. So you have to take some gen eds back over, if you think, or
No, just
you're
like
done?
get it over here from there. I don't know how, like I thought I sent it over, but it may not be the updated one.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. What kind of drink is that? Yeah, pumpkin.
Oh, it's
Oh, how is it?
they didn't put enough the powder. It's
Oh,
mostly tastes like milk.
okay. Was it matcha? I don't want to try it. Some point probably. I just tried the tea the other day, like the dragon.
The refreshers.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, like last year, I was mostly like when I went out, I mostly went to the fast food like Dunkin', McDonald's, and Target and stuff.
Yeah, I do it when I'm around here because it's like you ain't got time to really go anywhere, major. Especially when you're busy like that.
Mm.
Yeah, I try and cook at home.
When you came, it was still raining.
Yeah. It was raining quite a bit.
Yeah, it started raining bigger when I came.
Yeah. It's supposed to be worse this afternoon.
Is it raining tomorrow too?
Not tomorrow.
No, I thought I saw it. Said Did you do your fast part?
Yeah. I did it, I think, October, first week of October.
Oh, I still need to do mine.
Oh, yeah. I think the deadline is like January or something. You still got some time. I'm supposed to be sunny tomorrow, 50. It's a little bit colder, but not as cold as last week. Last week was Oh, was that a Chromebook?
Yeah.
I am wanting to buy one. When do you think I'm thinking about it?
Yeah.
I heard they're pretty good.
My so-called like one of this is the second one, about the same time.
Uh-huh.
The first one it broke. So-called the screen cracked, and then so-called I didn't save. It was I just saved it in download. So everything I lost everything.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't save it in my Google Drive because my email was full. Like the storage
Yeah.
was like to the 100 or how much percent.
Yeah. Oh. Does it run pretty good, you think?
When it's so-called for low battery, it's like starting to go slow.
I see it. Yes, I got an iPad right now, and I'm like, I need just a laptop to take the class with me. I'm thinking about it. Like, I have a laptop at home already, but like, it'd be good to just have one in case I need it. So I don't use pen and paper as much anymore. Sometimes I do. Pretty dry out there.